M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
We got to get through this show, bro. We've got to get through this show. It's in the second quarter. I'm talking. Oh,
all
shit.
Right.
Now
Thank you very much for joining us. Monty and the Pharaoh are off to see the Jets. And
come on. All right. So we decided to do head-to-head. Jimmy, I would like you to please explain the rules of head-to-head. Okay.
Listen, I would, but I'm just a fan, so I'm not sure that I have the authority to do this. Okay, folks, we do head-to-head, and I don't have it here on the script, so I'm going to try to pull from my memory, whatever's left of it. There are 5 categories where we take 2 of the wrestlers, could be past, could be present, could be whatever. And we put them up against each other head-to-head in 5 categories, and whoever wins, wins. Category number 1, well, Mike put up mat skills, so I guess mat skills. Do you grapple or am I reaching for a snapple? Okay, so mat skills, can you go? Mike skills, yada, 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 yada. Can you talk the talk, walk the walk, and be the bullshit of the bullshitter? How are you on that mic? What is your mic skills? Okay, next category. He didn't flash it up. There it is, back of the baseball card. That's pretty self-explanatory. Are you Barry Bonds with a needle in your arm? Or are you Mario Mendoza line? What are you? You good? You bad? You indifferent? There you go. Up. What was that? What was that?
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake. Then you have.
It
looked like a guy with a needle. He looked like a guy with a needle in his arm.
Then you have the it factor.
All right, you got the it factor. You know, do you do it? Do I when I see you on the tube? Am I engaged or am I reaching for the TP for my bunghole? All right, there you go.
All right, so our first matchup. This was Farrell.
Wait a minute. Then there's the overall impact on the industry.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we got that one. Yeah, are you a Hogan or are you not Hogan's hero? Okay, so there you go. There's the 5 categories for head-to-head. Hit it, Mike.
I'm going to put up Jimmy came up with the head-to-head this time, and I love his lineup. So the first matchup, we have 2 head-to-heads. The first matchup is superstar Billy Graham against our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Okay, now before we get to the categories, the reason why I sent these to Mike, I sent a couple of heads to Mike. I believe, for whatever that's worth, being just a fan, I believe that superstar Billy Graham and Roman Reigns are the 2 greatest heels that we've seen in the last heel champions of the WWE that we've seen in the last 40 plus years. Okay, so Graham, you can go all the way through because Graham had, for his time, a very impressive title run. Bad guys don't hold the belt for 10 months up in New York, Mike, in the 70s. And then you got Roman Reigns, obviously the greatest heel run we've seen in modern day. So that's the reason we have these things. What's category number 1, Mike?
By the way, that movie I told you about with the girl having sex while the husband, Jennifer Tilly's the girl's name. Thank you there, Gerard.
All right.
Okay, dude. So want to open up? We want to open up. You want to open up with the difference between superstar Billy Graham and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
We're going to go with Mike skills first, Jimmy. Your
Mike
opinion.
Skills, well, I give him that one to Billy. Billy Graham was great on the microphone. So many people patted themselves after him as the years went on. Prototype for a lot of things. Roman has become quite good, though. You know, where Roman first started to where Roman is today, Roman is really good now. Really, really good. But I have to give it to Graham. He was the king.
Graham, WWE Graham is one of the greatest talkers of all time.
Absolutely.
Do I say this is a blowout? You would think it was a blowout, but it's not the blowout. No. It's not tight, but it's close. Well, it's not. It's in the same ballpark. But yes, Billy Graham, we both agree, is the guy on the mic end.
Yeah.
Next, Matt skills. Jimmy.
Matt skills. Well, neither one of them are technically proficient, but that's just ridiculous. Roman has definitely got the Matt skills over Billy Graham. That would be just.
Well, let me ask you something, man. Again, I wasn't watching wrestling when Billy was a champion. I came in afterwards, but I got to tell you, when I put on old Billy, WWE Billy Graham, you see, there's a big difference for me. The WWE Billy Graham is so much better than the Georgia Championship Wrestling Billy Graham, the AWA Billy Graham.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Billy Graham WWE matches.
Well, should. You should. He was a great storyteller in the ring. It was his ability to tell a story in the ring. Billy Graham in WWF was one of the greatest storytellers ever. No one could sell pain like Billy Graham. I mean, a simple punch from his opponent caused 20,000 people to explode in glee because they hated Billy Graham was being punched in the face. And he sold it like that. He was a great storyteller. But if you're talking about overall moves, and again, Roman Reigns is not Bret Hart, but Roman Reigns has much more moves in his arsenal than Billy Graham ever did. Different era, but I still have to give it to Roman.
I agree with you 1-to-1, Billy Graham and Roman Reigns. Back of the baseball card.
That's Roman. That's not really that close, especially in this day and age with all the WrestleManias he main evented and his legendary run as the Universal Champion. That's not close. It's very impressive what Billy did, though, because nobody had ever done what Billy did. Being a heel and actually holding the belt for almost a year. I believe that while he was champion, Junior was looking at him and probably thinking to himself, this is what I want wrestling to be more like. And that will factor in as we go on with a few more of these categories. But the back of the baseball
card. So in my mind here, Jimmy, I would say back of the baseball card should have been a blowout. But with everything Roman has done, Billy Graham's a lot closer. It's in the ballpark. When we talked about Mike skills, it's in the ballpark. Billy Graham's what was it over 1 year tenure as WWF champion?
He didn't get to a year. He got to about 10 months.
So 10 months champion was one of the better 10 months that championship had ever had.
And it had never happened. It had never happened in Vince's company. Ivan Koloff had the belt for 9 days or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. And Stan Stasiak had it for 9 days or whatever it was. Heel champions didn't do that back then. So Graham was definitely a pioneer in a lot of ways.
So we got Roman 2-1, the it factor.
All right,
this is a tough one.
Here's where we're probably going to differ. As far as it factor, late 70s Billy Graham was the prototype for Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and all the other showmanship that we see in this business. Roman Reigns, as he's been presented in the last 4 years especially, is top shelf penthouse stuff. I will never say it's not. It is. But if I'm taking a look at just the two of them, not a bloodline standing behind Roman, just Roman Reigns standing there and a prime superstar Graham standing there, it factor? Superstar Graham wins. And it's just not close. Because let me put it this way. What kind of it factor influence has Roman Reigns given? Now, he's been around for 10 years now in the WWE. What kind of influence has he garnered? Has he produced the next Hulk Hogan for Roman Reigns' prototype? No. Billy Graham, it factor, led to Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Jesse the Body Ventura, and I could go on and on and on. All right. So as far as presentation, holy shit, aura, they both step into the room in their prime. I'm pointing at Graham.
So so that's really great stuff, Jimmy, and it's very hard to argue. When you look at Billy Graham, you go, holy shit, this guy is a beast, right? And he does have the it factor. I mean, arms, chest, everything else.
He does.
But here's the thing, Jimmy.
Okay.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The it factor, especially in his tenure as champion.
Yeah.
Has been undeniable.
The presence on the card as the way it was written and presented, yes. The impact of his character on screen, yes. But we're talking about aura. We're just talking about two guys standing next to each other in the primes of their career and what kind of magnetism they're giving off. I will never, ever say that Roman Reigns gives off more magnetism, aura, than Superstar Graham.
We're looking at it two different ways, right?
We are.
It factor.
That's fine.
It factor. This guy's got it. They both got it. But when Roman came out for his matches, they felt big time.
Right.
Now, it's hard for me to make that statement about Graham because I wasn't there at the time.
Right.
And I wasn't there. But I was there for Hogan. And I was a huge Hogan fan.
Right.
I was there for Backlund. I was there for Bret Hart. I was there for Shawn Michaels. I was there for them all. No champion in the history of WWE made championship matches feel more big time than a Roman Reigns' match.
Right, but
at 50 cents. And to me, that is it factor.
Right. Well, to me, that's the back of the baseball card.
The back of the baseball card is what you've done there.
Right? That's right. And what he did in those 4 years as champion was legendary. That's why he ran away to me with the back of the baseball card.
So let's call it like this. 2-2 Graham on your end. I'm going 3-1 with Roman.
Okay.
The final one, right? We've got overall influence on the industry. This is another very tricky one.
Not for me.
Right. So I want you to go, and then because obviously we're on different ends here.
Yeah, we're on different ends. The overall impact on the industry. Okay, the industry, Roman Reigns is a product of the change in the industry and a necessary component in the change in the industry. Billy Graham, like I said, what is your vapor trail? Okay, when your vapor trail is Hogan, Flair, Ventura, showmanship that we became used to. He was a show before the show became the main component in the E in entertainment. Okay, Roman Reigns' legacy is still being written. It's very hard to answer what kind of influence Roman Reigns' work as a wrestler will have on this industry. But I can tell you, without Graham, no Hogan. No Hogan, no WrestleMania. Okay, no Flair, no NWA the way they were remembered, all right? No Ventura. Okay, maybe he's not in Predator. I don't know. But, maybe he's not the governor of Minnesota. How about that? Okay? Graham's vapor trail is huge, all right? Roman's vapor trail is still being written. So at this moment in time, in the year 2024, the one who's had the bigger impact on the business as a whole due to who he influenced, what became of wrestling after him. It's not his fault that he was the Beatle equivalent to Hulkamania before it. It's not. This is when he lived. This is when he was in his prime. You can't change it. All right? The influence factor is insane. So as far as I'm concerned, at this given moment in time, Billy Graham wins this. To be determined 10, 15 years from now regarding Roman.
So I'll respond with this. Roman Reigns changed the industry. He was the champion during COVID, during the time where we had no fans.
No, wait a minute. McIntyre wasn't got
No. Roman Reigns was the champion during COVID, okay? He changed the industry. He rewrote how wrestling was being told. He was telling a different story. He was able to change the way wrestling has been presented to us that lives today. Remember something.
He's the top of the card and a byproduct of the writers and how they wanted to present it.
Superstar Graham never translated outside the WWE. People can give bullshit and go, oh, he sold out. No, he was terrible in the AWA.
I got all of that. That's not what I'm basing this on.
But again,
Roman has never wrestled in another company either. So he's always been a WWE guy from day one. So I don't even know how that applies.
But Jimmy,
I don't see it.
He has created probably the greatest storyline in wrestling history.
Right. He didn't create that. It was written for him. You're making it out like he penned it. He didn't pen it.
But okay,
come on, stop.
You're talking about because superstar Billy Graham was juiced to the gills when no one else was juiced to the gills.
Well, if you want to simplify the whole package with just he was juiced to the gills, then what am I supposed to say to that? Because what I say is Farrell thinks that Billy Graham wins this 3-2, and Mike thinks that Roman Reigns beat the crap out of him and wins 4-1.
But you got to look at it this way, dude. The guy, you can't undersell what Roman has done for the industry and how he's influenced the industry.
I'm not underselling it, but I'll tell you what. As far as importance factor, there's other guys that have had a hand in that. The product we're looking at today.
Of course, but it's almost it's unfair to the fact that one started. It's two different ways you could look at it. One started early, so originally, of course, they're going to be the spark, right? They're going to be. So they started earlier, but on the other hand, if Superstar Graham was wrestling now, who knows what he could have done for the industry, right?
Right.
But so they're in two different eras.
Roman could have been part of the Samoan tag team and done absolutely nothing back in 1978. We don't know.
You could have been. Or Superstar Graham could have been in the mix of the million of bodybuilders that were in wrestling in the 90s, right?
Right.
So
Right.
But again, you make valid points about him being the spark for a lot of wrestlers, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's the impact and influence on the business.
What about Roman's influence on today's generation? Everybody wants to be the next Roman Reigns. They don't want to be the next Cody Rhodes.
And that's why I said today in 2024, right now, currently, the winner is Graham, because that is yet to be seen. We have to see who comes out of this and is the next Roman Reigns, if there is such a thing.
Roman has a larger book of business than Superstar Graham.
Well, that's
he has a larger book of business. He was in maybe one of the. He was in one of the greatest factions of all time.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. He was in one of the greatest factions of all time.
That's back of the baseball card. We're back to back of the baseball card.
You got to let me finish. He changed the industry during COVID. Right? You got to remember that.
I don't give him full credit for being the guy that saved the company from COVID. This is the first I'm hearing of that. So to me, no. Well, I let you talk, you spoke it out, and I still don't see it. So it is what it is.
Again, we gotta have. This is one of the things I say. Roman blows out Superstar Graham. You got Superstar Graham win 3-2. I mean, overall influence on the industry. Roman Reigns has made more money for wrestling than any wrestler has ever had in their entire life.
We didn't ask who was richer. We asked who had more impact.
But that's overall influence on the industry. You've influenced the industry.
It's not that simple for me, but.
All right. Good enough.